Hey, welcome to the attic. Manadad here. It is the end of the second day of the format. So I think we might have some data here in 17 lands that will help us figure out what's going on in the draft and get the drop here. Before I do another draft, I wanted to check out, obviously not a lot of data here for monocolor or monocolor plus splash. There's a really good mono white deck, and maybe a decent couple mono red decks. But two color is mainly what we're going to look at here, and it's looking like Golgari. Oh no, Rakdos is the #1 deck, with Golgari right up there as well. Rakdos has quite a bit more in terms of games logged so far, 368. Golgari's only 229. So it does look like these vampire aggro blood decks are kind of a way to go. Not far behind here, we do have Gruul. So it's interesting because you've got red here, green here, green here. Boros red, white, and Selesnya green, white, also pretty high up here. At the bottom, of course, well, the very bottom is Simic, and then the deck that I played for my first draft, which you can watch, Orzhov, and that looks about right to me. The win rate for 17 lands users, do we have the average win rate, is 56.8 overall. So any of the color combinations below that are bad, I would say. So even Izzet does not quite hit the 56%. Azorius and Dimir are just right about at the just the user average win rate. Now, of course, this will probably shake out as people learn the tricks of these various builds, and you might see stuff climb or go up or down. But right now, if you have to lane yourself, it's looking like Golgari, Gruul, and Rakdos are the way to go, followed closely by Selesnya and Azorius and Dimir. I do think the Dimir control deck is pretty good. I think everybody now pretty much agrees this is, they talk about formats in terms of Prince or Pauper, how much the rares matter. People are calling this a king format. It's even more than a Prince. It's the rares are super bombs, and there are a lot of them, and you just lose to them almost instantly. Or if you have removal, maybe you can not insta lose, but you have to have the exact right kind of removal. And some of them, there's like no right kind of removal. They just sit out and accrue value. So the control decks with all those counter spells might be the key to kind of battling against that. Or what's looking more common, at least here in the early days of the format, is these aggro decks, Rakdos, Selesnya, battling up. And then Golgari, I think, is a more grindy deck with the big butts, but for whatever reason, that maybe people are building it aggro. I don't know. There's not a ton of data for that one, but some people are having success if you do find yourself in Golgari. Something to keep in mind. I do think black has some good cards, and green has excellent ramp. Let's just take a look here at the splash decks. There's very low statistics here, but like, yeah, splashing in Gruul is one of the green decks. Splashing in Orzhov, surprisingly doing pretty well. Maybe splashing into red with that, getting some of those good white-red aggro or black-red aggro vampire things. I don't know. And yeah, there's just barely any data here on the 3-color decks, but a couple of people have managed 3-color plus splash, and they have pretty good decks. So those are probably the 5-color good stuff decks. If we look at traditional draft, let's see if the statistics hold up. Wow. So 17 lands users are just dominating here in traditional draft, it looks like. Actually, maybe the win rate is 61%. 17 lands users in traditional draft. Maybe I should be playing traditional draft. So I think maybe that'll do the next one I do. Those are harder for a busy dad, but there you go. Again, Gruul up pretty high here. Boros, Golgari below the average here in traditional. And Rakdos pretty much at the average. Yeah, just a little above the average at 61.8%. 61.1% is the average. So something to keep in mind here is it in Simic. Some decent stats for those. Take a quick look at Sealed. Here you're much more likely to play splashes, as you can see. The average 17 lands user is just 51.8% in Sealed. I think Sealed is just the bombs make it such a coin flip. Definitely don't enter Sealed if you're trying to save on gems, although it is good practice for your pre-releases here. But, yeah. So it looks like Orzhov is actually pretty decent in Sealed. For whatever reason, it's got a decent amount of decks too. A lot of people opening Edgar Markov maybe and building around that. Rakdos is sort of the aggro deck maybe, or Boros. Those have a little bit above average win rates. But yeah, Orzhov and Azorius, for whatever reason, in Sealed seem to be pretty good. Okay, well, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. If you like this kind of breakdown, you find it helpful, yeah, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, let me know. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. This has been Manadad saying, remember, Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.